Mute me.
Everybody mute themselves. Hello, everybody. This is MoveEasy Yoga with Via, and it's November 14th, 2020. We're going to start in the ordinary fashion, just allowing yourself to come into the room. You're lying on your back, supine, with your hands beside you. You may want to put a couple of washcloths or something under your head to create a neutral cervical spine. Just watching the breath that you came in with. Breathing in and breathing out. Go ahead and mute yourselves. Say, I love my body and my body loves me. Bring your hands behind your head, stack them or interlace them at the occipital ridge. That's the back of the base of the skull. We're going to do vagus nerve reset. So without moving anything but your eyeballs, look all the way to the right and wait for an involuntary sigh, swallow, yawn, or gulp. Come back to the center. Shift your eyeballs to the left. Wait for an involuntary sigh, swallow, yawn, or gulp. Do that 2 more times, right, left, right, left. I'm gonna try to control the light a little bit better in my studio. And stop that and keep your hands where they are. For head ramping, just pressing the back of the skull, the back of the base of the skull into your hands, into the floor, into the mat. Hold for a couple of breaths. And then release and repeat 4 more times. Bring your hands beside your hips. We're going to do Viloma breathing. This is the inhale is divided into 3 parts. We're going to inhale and pause, inhale and pause, inhale and pause, each time filling up 1/3 of the lungs until the last one, you'll feel all lungs are all filled up. And then exhale normally. Two more. Let's do the basic hypopressive with your arms hugging a tree over your chest. So remember that your feet are on, the heels are on the floor, but the toes are pointed towards the ceiling, dorsiflexion. Then the arms up, hugging a tree, and then flipping the palms so they're facing the ceiling. Activate the hands by pushing them toward the ceiling. Activate the scapula by pushing them towards the floor. Scapulae, I think is the plural. And then we're going to take 3 breaths. I'm going to cue them and then hold your breath out. Also, I'm going to count for 14 counts. Yeah, let's do 14 counts. Take an inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. All the way out. Hold your breath out, no breath. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. Go ahead and release. Inhale and exhale. Bring your arms down by your side. Extend your legs. Cross your right ankle over your left ankle. Bring your arms over your chest again and stack the left, let's see, the right ankle over, then the left is on top of your, there where your hands are at your wrist. Bring your arms overhead. This is also a wrist movement, so make sure that you have a nice sharp right angle at the wrists. We're going to do 3 breaths and then holding the breath out for 14 counts. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. Last one, inhale. Exhale, all the way out. Hold your breath out, no breath. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. And inhale and exhale and switch sides. Left ankle over right, arms above the chest, and the right hand is on top. Stack your hands. Bring your arms overhead. Keep your elbows straight if you can, or almost straight. And 3 breaths. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. Last one, inhale. Exhale. Hold your breath out, no breath. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. And relax. Stay here in your supine position with your knees bent and your feet on the floor. We're going to do some basic hip, 3 basic hip movements. The first is leg lifts. So starting on the right, bring your right knee up towards your face and then drop it back down to the floor. So remember, the movement is at the hip. It's not at the knee. The knee stays in the same angle. And then come on down. So do this 4 more times. And so inhale, you come up, and exhale, you return. And 2 more. Switch sides. Left knee up and return. And do this 6 times. And let me say that this seems like a very simple movement, but actually it would be very good exercise if you were having knee issues. And also if you were having balance issues, because you're teaching, retraining the hip to move, its most fundamental movement, flexion, extension at the hip. Now we're going to do bent knee side drops. So staying right where you are, and this time you're going to drop the right knee out to the right and try to keep the left hip on the floor. So you're not moving your left leg or hip. And then come on back. Knee drops. Slowly. This is an abduction, adduction. So if you start to feel it in the groin, you're using a hip flexor and you've gone too far. When I first started doing this, I always wanted to involve the hip flexor. But I made my movements very small, and later I could do a bigger movement that didn't involve the hip flexor. And when you're finished there, you should have done about 6. Go ahead and switch to the other side. Basic knee drop. Listen to your body, listen to your breath. Think of where this movement is coming from the hip socket. Come back to the basic position, and then we're going to do a figure 4, a supine figure 4, just bringing the knee up and then crossing the ankle, right ankle in front of the left knee. So the trick here, and we're just going to stay here, and you can do ankle circles if you want. The trick here is when you do your movement, and we'll practice it one more time, is that you bring the knee up far enough so that you are not involving a lot of commotion when you cross over. So knee comes up and then the ankle crosses. And if you're doing ankle circles, you can do both directions. This is a really nice hip opener. And all of these are about awareness. What kind of basic movement am I doing here? When you've completed your circles, ankle circles, just go ahead and switch sides. Left knee up and then cross the ankle. Nice hip opener. You can just stay here for a bit and enjoy that. Or you can start to move, make circles with your ankles. Try to have the circle be at the ankle, not at the front of the foot. And whenever you're ready, just bring your knee back, your foot back to the floor. Bring your arms straight overhead for protraction, retraction, overhead toward the ceiling, palms facing each other. And you're going to lift the scapula away from the spine, protraction. And as a result, your arms will move up toward the ceiling. But make sure the movement, we're going to do it about 6 times. Make sure the movement is a movement that happens in the scapula. I have a feeling this is one of the things that my physiotherapist is going to ask me to do once they start moving my shoulder again. I could probably make up my own routine, but I'd rather rely on someone else who's been thinking about these things. And when you're finished with 6, I want you to stay there and take your arms overhead. So arms overhead on an inhale and then return them to the starting location. So no, the starting location is where you ended on your last movement. So your arms are overhead toward the ceiling. Now overhead towards the ears, alongside the ears. Little confusing, sorry. Bring them back. So inhale out and exhale, return. Think of where this is happening and the glenohumeral joint at the head of the arm bone. This will be part of my routine, I'm sure.
This feels good on my shoulder, my bum shoulder.
Mm-hmm. And when you finish that, I want you to just give yourself a hug and rock from side to side. So arms around your chest, holding onto your shoulders if you can reach there, and just rocking from side to side. You could do this on a pair of therapy balls. It would feel really good. And maybe let's go ahead and find some 2 therapy balls in a tote, put them at the sacrum, between the rhomboids, and then hug yourself and rock from side to side.
Okay, so between the what?
The rhomboids, between the shoulder blades.
Thank you.
Yeah, the rhomboids are the muscles between the shoulder blades. You can use either large. It's going to be down farther up than that. It's going to be just below the shoulders and above the rib cage, above the bottom of the rib cage. There, probably about there. Now hug yourself and rock from side to side. If this is too much, you could do it at a wall. You could do it with a washcloth over the balls to cushion them a little bit. But this might feel good. And then let's move on to leg stretch 1 and 2, and we'll have therapy balls at the end of that too. Grab your strap, put your right leg up toward the ceiling with a strap on the ball of the foot, holding on to the right side of the strap with your right hand, the left side of your strap with your left hand, keeping the hips on the floor and pulling the leg towards you. The knee can be slightly bent if you need, it needs to be. This is a great hamstring stretch, and I forgot that I was going to time it, but I am actually. I'll time it for a little less this time because I'm having trouble getting to my timer. This is a pose with lots of benefits, but one of them is reversing osteoporosis. Go ahead and go out to the side, leg stretch number 2 on the right. And 40 seconds. Remember not to, so you keep whichever side you're not using. So if it's a leg stretch on the right, keep your left hip on the floor. Your leg may not go down as far as Kathy's.
I practice.
This is a really nice hip opener, but it's also builds bone density, restores bone density at the joint here. Go ahead and go to leg stretch number 1 on the left. I am going to actually bring my entire setup. I think I'm going to bring it down to the floor. Last week, last class I noticed is that it was hard for me to sit up for so long. So I didn't time that. So there we go. You get a little bonus here, as Caitlin said in the last lesson. That happens sometimes. Now my move to the outside, take that leg to the outside. Leg stretch number 2. After 12 seconds, the osteocytes start to build new bone. Come on back. Take the strap and set it aside. Put some therapy balls at the sacrum. So the sacrum is the triangular bone that's just below your spine, just below L5 and above the tailbone. And what I want, there's lots of places to put this ball, but I want you to find that triangle and put it in horizontal in the middle of that. And all you're going to do is just roll back and forth. This should feel really good. Help to realign the hips and the pelvis. Just back and forth and up and down. So about 6 times each direction. There's my take it easy. Sacrum release with therapy balls. That's what that is. And when you're finished, come up to a floor seated position. We're going to do 3 moves, triplets, side bend, spine twist, and stacked knees with wrist twist. So starting with cross-legged, in a cross-legged position, side bending, starting on the right side, just taking your right arm out to the right, your left arm up and over. We're going to start to time this up and over. The elbow is up toward the ceiling at this point. You're working on the QL. But halfway through, I'm going to ask you to move your elbow forward. And that'll be in about 2 seconds. Move your elbow forward. Work on the lower trapezius and the latissimus dorsi, 2 muscles on the lower back, but above the lumbar. This is just a nice way to side bend and work on 2 different muscle groups. Come on back. Go to the other side. Left arm out along the mat. The right arm up and over. I'm going to time this. Breathing, waiting. About halfway through, I'll tell you when you'll move your elbow forward. Not yet, though. Move your elbow forward now for the last half of this this pose. Elbow comes forward. You should feel this a little bit more behind the armpit. Come on back up, elbow first, and then the entire torso comes back up. We'll do this again on the right side. So we're going to do 1 more set. Right side, right arm along the mat, left arm up and over, timed. Just breathing and enjoying. Keep both hips on the floor. The side bend is a thoracic side bend. It's a mid and upper back side bend. Bring your elbow forward, a little farther forward so you can feel another stretch, a new stretch. Elbow comes up, and then the arm comes up. Okay, other side. Remember to uncross your legs and recross them. Arm out along the floor. Other arm up and overhead. Staying here, breathing, keeping your hips even on the floor. And now bring your elbow forward, the second half of the timing. Come on up. Oh, two come ups. Return, return. And then we're going to do the spine twist with an intercostal slide. Starting on the right side, so the right knee, you take your left hand and put it on your right knee. You're cross-legged, you're crossing your legs. There, that's a good position. Right knee on left. Now you're going to rotate your thoracic spine so your chest is parallel, or as parallel as you can get to the end of the mat. Oh, well, with Kathy's, let's see here. Okay. It's not really that. I'm fudging on this. Just try to make the rotation that's as strong as you can without hurting yourself. And once you get there, maintain that spinal twist and then just shift the rib cage from side to side. Try to keep that shifting. Try to keep that in the spine cage, in the thoracic spine, not, don't use the shoulders, don't use the hips, just this little rib cage movement side to side. And come on back, unwind. Other side, left hand on right knee. Bring your, oh, that's what I forgot to cue last time. Your left arm goes behind you. And then you rotate, you're rotating your torso. Find that. And now, once you've found and are maintaining the spine twist, go ahead and a small movement, a bonus movement of the rib cage. Come on back out of that, unravel, and face forward, stack your knees, one on top of the other. This is harder than it looks, but a great hip opener. Good for releasing piriformis and the SI joint, both of which involve often are causes of back pain. There you are. That's your location. Now bring your arms out in front of you, palms facing away from each other, and then lift the right arm up and over so you're interlacing your fingers. And then the wrists come down and then toward the chest and then up toward the chin. So this is a hip opener, obviously, and then it's also a wrist movement. You can bring your wrist down a little bit towards your lap if you can. Just breathing. I love my body loves me. Go ahead and unravel. Unravel and switch sides. Switch legs too, please. Bring your arms out in front of you. You should, and then this time the left arm comes up and over, clasps with the right hand. Down toward the chest, up toward the chin. We're already counting and breathing. Sit tall. So no, this is a postural movement also. This actually has a lot of shoulder movement. This has a lot of things going for it. Come on up to a standing position. Come on, unravel out of that slowly, not too quick. Back bend at the wall. Remember, does everyone remembers the alternative. If you don't want to do back bend at the wall, you can do a back bend at chest opener in a chair. So, but wherever, I'm going to cue back bend at the wall. Stand up against the wall. You'll be out a little ways from the wall, your preference, personal choice. Standing in good posture, bringing your arms up and over and facing the wall. Maybe it's only the fingertips that you'll get there. Maybe the hands. I'm going to time this. Staying here. This is a big chest opener and back extension. It's rebuilding, restoring bone density to the upper back. Okay, let's do a side spine twist. Starting with the right side, the right shoulder is toward the wall. The right leg is forward, parallel to the wall. Left leg behind you on an angle, actually. Now rotate, bend your elbows and rotate around. So yes, rotate around. Now, Kathy, your foot, somehow something happens on the way here. You might need to be a little closer to the wall, I think. Because what happens when you rotate is the front leg rotates, and you don't want it to rotate. It should stay parallel. That looks better to me. Starting to time this spinal twist at the wall. I would do this every wall I see, a couple times a day, both sides. Switch sides, everybody. The left shoulder is against the wall. The left leg is forward and parallel. The right leg is back on an angle, foot on an angle. Rotate. Find your spine twist and breathe. So the idea is that your hips stay looking one direction, and then of course your chest and your torso rotate to the other direction towards the wall. Go ahead and come unravel. We're going to stand in front of a wall or near a chair. We're going to do balancing on one foot. This is another standing pose that I hope you do often throughout your day. You have half an opportunity, or you create an opportunity for yourself. How do you, if you're losing, start to lose your sense of balance, how do you reclaim it? Balance on one foot. So just standing with your feet parallel to each other, and then just lift let's take your right foot up. So your knee can go in front of you, and I'm going to start to time here. Staying here as long as you can. You don't have to stay as long as I'm timing. Timing for 40 seconds. If you need to hold on to something or touch something, you can go do that. You can do that. If your arms move, that's good because they're trying to create some balance for you. Five seconds. Switch sides. Left leg up. I'm going to start timing. If you're standing in front of a grocery cart and you don't have room for your knee to come up high like that, you can put your leg behind behind you. You can, your knee can bend behind you, or you can wrap your toes around your ankle. Just balancing and breathing. If you get really good at this, you can do it with your eyes closed. Come on back. Nice job, everybody. I have a feeling. Now we're going to do heel lifts using the chair, and you're going to add one therapy ball after doing it without the therapy ball for a little while. So you don't need something like Kathy has. She has a double carpet issue in her room. But so she's standing on something a little more solid. The heel lifts is just to lift up and then drop back down, and lift up and drop back down. Try to stay in good posture. You can touch or not touch. This is a balancing pose after all. Okay, now we're going to do it again, but this time we're going to put a therapy ball at the ankle as far back as you can get it and still hold it between your two ankles, your two heels. And go ahead and do a heel lift. Up and down. Is trying to feel the core. So can you feel the core? Feel the lower abdominals working. You feel that connection between the feet and the core. The therapy balls help you get there. Good. Let's do split stance short foot. So you're going to stand in good posture with one foot forward and the other foot behind. You can do it on a yoga mat. the feet are parallel or almost parallel, Kathy. So, and it's not very far. It's a stance, it's a forward stance, but not, not too, there's not too much distance. Can your back foot be toes pointed forward? Good. Or not. So it's possible that Kathy needs for balance to take her hips wider apart. That would actually be another solution, I think, is to get the hips wider apart, or bring the feet a little closer together, forward, back to front. So here you're going to start on the right foot. Oh, and lift find the tripod so that those 3 points at the bottom of your foot, the toe, big toe, little toe, and the heel. Find the tripod, become aware of that, and then go ahead and lift your toes up. And now grab your abdominals, the lowest you can get them, down near the pubic bone. Grab those. And now drop your toes and spread your toes and press them against the floor or the mat. And see if you can find the arch on the bottom of the foot and the core. So keep bringing your attention between those 2 points with your toes still pressed going down on the floor. And then switch sides. Diana was, I don't know if she's here today. I've been missing her the last couple of days. Diana was telling me she's doing this as part of her home practice and that it really seems to help her on a lot of different levels. So left foot, find the tripod, notice the tripod, lift and spread the toes, grab your abdominals as low as you can get them, and now lower the toes and press the toe pads into the floor. And while you're here, try to alternate your attention between the medial arch along the bottom of the foot, front to back, and the abs. Arch and abs, arch and abs, arch and abs. And then come out of it and find your way onto your hands and knees. Come into a child's pose, knees wide or narrow, arms straight, elbows straight. And now bring your right arm and thread it underneath the left armpit. And just stay here. You might need a pillow under your head or something under your chest, a pillow under your chest, something to make this happen. Just staying here. Try to drop your left shoulder so that your shoulders are even or almost even. Your hips are even or almost even. And just breathing. This is a big shoulder opener and it's a hip opener. And a child's pose is always good for the spine. Switch sides, everybody. So bring your right arm slowly out, extend it along beside your ear, and then take your left arm underneath, thread it under your right armpit. Your head can be down, face forward, or you can look towards the where all your arms are. Just stay here and breathe. Find your way onto your belly slowly for a back extension, a Pilates back extension. Your arms are beside your hips with your palms up toward the ceiling. You may have a towel underneath your forehead. Take an inhale to prepare. And then an exhale, lift your chest, your arms, your head. Remember, you're in a head ramping position with your cervical spine. We're timing for 30 seconds here. You can stay here. You can come out of it early if you need to. You can lift up a little higher if you can. Take an inhale to prepare and an exhale to return to the floor. We're going to come back up again and we're going to do it. We're going to do airplane, which is a level 2 back extension. Take an inhale to prepare and an exhale to lift, chest, arms, hips, not hips, head. Stay here for a little bit and then take an inhale to prepare and then an exhale, arms out in an airplane. And we're going to time here. Stay here as long as you can. You can come out early if you need to. Staying here and breathing, and if you want to, lifting your chest up a little higher. Great, good news for the upper back. Mobility, strength, flexibility, bone density. It could look a lot smaller than Kathy's. Inhale, and then exhale, return to the floor. Kathy's been doing this for many years, so hers looks really good. I'm sure better than me. She does it more often than I do. Okay, so now let's roll yourself over onto your back for the Yoga Nidra. I'm going to stop my video. You're going to extend your legs. You may want to put a pillow underneath your legs. You could put your legs up on a box or a chair. You could put a washcloth over your eyes. Let's begin by breathing in, breathing out, observing your abdomen as it rises and falls with the gentle flow of your breath. Now bring your attention and awareness to the center of your eyebrows, center of your throat, right shoulder, elbow, wrist, right thumb, second finger, third finger, fourth finger, fifth finger, right wrist, elbow, shoulder, center of your throat, left shoulder, elbow, wrist, left thumb, second finger, third finger, fourth finger, fifth finger, left wrist, elbow, shoulder, center of your throat, spiritual heart center, right side of your chest, heart center, left side of your chest, heart center, navel center, center of your pelvis, right hip, knee, ankle, right big toe, second toe, third toe, fourth toe, fifth toe, right ankle, knee, hip, center of your pelvis, left hip, knee, ankle, left big toe, second toe, third toe, fourth toe, fifth toe, left ankle, knee, hip, center of your pelvis, navel center, heart center, center of your throat, center of your eyebrows. This completes your 61-point guided meditation. Go ahead and start to bring your attention back to the room. Stretch your body in 2 different directions, legs extended, one direction, the arms overhead by the ears in the other direction, and try to create a little bit more space between your rib cage and your pelvis. Wiggle your fingers and your toes, circle your ankles and your wrists. Hug your right knee into your chest and your left knee into your chest. Hug both knees into your chest and rock your knees from side to side. Roll all the way over to the side lying in a fetal position. Use your left bottom arm as a pillow. Use your top arm to press your palm into the carpet and lift yourself up without rounding your back. Unmute yourself. I'm going to remove the spotlight from Kathy and put a gallery view for myself. Find your comfortable floor-seated position. Bring your hands into prayer pose. Press your palms strongly together. And then just gently, palms gently together. Lift your occipital ridge up toward the ceiling and then roll the skull over the C1 vertebra forward. The vertebra stays straight. Skull nods and bows, bowing to each other, acknowledging and honoring the light in each other, knowing that we are all one. And we'll close the class by saying to each other, Namaste.
Namaste.
Thank you, everybody. I'm going to turn
Thank
off
you.